Contents. Preface. Chapter 1. Introduction. The Nature of Science and Physics. Connection for AP courses. 1.1. Physics. An Introduction. 1.2. Physical Quantities and Units. 1.3. Accuracy, Precision, and Significant Figures. 1.4. Approximation. Glossary. Section Summary. Conceptual Questions. Problems and Exercises. Chapter 2. Kinematics. Connection for AP courses. 2.1. Displacement. 2.2. Vectors, Scalars, and Coordinate Systems. 2.3. Time, Velocity, and Speed. 2.4. Acceleration. 2.5. Motion equations for constant acceleration in one dimension. 2.6. Problem-solving basics for one-dimensional kinematics. 2.7. Falling objects. 2.8. Graphical analysis of one-dimensional motion. Glossary. Section Summary. Conceptual Questions. Problems and Exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 3. Two-dimensional kinematics. Connection for AP courses. 3.1. Kinematics in Two Dimensions, An Introduction. 3.2. Vector Addition and Subtraction. Graphical Methods. 3.3. Vector Addition and Subtraction. Analytical Methods. 3.4. Projectile Motion. 3.5. Addition of Velocities. Glossary. Section Summary. Conceptual Questions. Problems and Exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 4. Dynamics. Force and Newton's Laws of Motion. Connection for AP courses. 4.1. Development of Force Concept. 4.2. Newton's First Law of Motion. Inertia. 4.3. Newton's Second Law of Motion. Concept of a System. 4.4. Newton's Third Law of Motion. Symmetry in Forces. 4.5. Normal, tension, and other examples of forces. 4.6. Problem-solving strategies. 4.7. Further applications of Newton's laws of motion. 4.8. Extended topic. The Four Basic Forces, An Introduction. Glossary. Section Summary. Conceptual Questions. Problems and Exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 5. Further applications of Newton's laws. Friction, drag, and elasticity. Connection for AP courses. 5.1. Friction. 5.2. Drag forces. 5.3. Elasticity. Stress and strain. Glossary. Section Summary. Conceptual Questions. Problems and Exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 6. Uniform Circular Motion and Gravitation. Connection for AP courses. 6.1. Rotation Angle and Angular Velocity. 6.2. Centripetal Acceleration. 6.3. Centripetal Force. 6.4. Fictitious Forces and Non-Inertial Frames. The Coriolis Force. 6.5. Newton's Universal Law of Gravitation. 6.6. Satellites and Kepler's Laws. An Argument for Simplicity. Glossary. Section Summary. Conceptual Questions. Problems and Exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 7. Work, Energy, and Energy Resources. Connection for AP courses. 7.1. Work. The Scientific Definition. 7.2. Kinetic Energy and the Work-Energy Theorem. 7.3. Gravitational Potential Energy. 7.4. Conservative Forces and Potential Energy. 7.5. Non-conservative Forces. 7.6. Conservation of Energy. 7.7. Power. 7.8. Work, Energy, and Power in Humans. 7.9. World Energy Use. Glossary. Section Summary. Conceptual Questions. Problems and Exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 8. Linear Momentum and Collisions. Connection for AP courses. 8.1. Linear Momentum and Force. 8.2. Impulse. 8.3. Conservation of Momentum. 8.4. Elastic collisions in one dimension. 8.5. Inelastic collisions in one dimension. 8.6. Collisions of point masses in two dimensions. 8.7. Introduction to rocket propulsion. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 9. Statics and torque. Connection for AP courses. 9.1. The first condition for equilibrium. 9.2. The second condition for equilibrium. 9.3. Stability. 9.4. Applications of statics, including problem-solving strategies. 9.5. Simple machines. 9.6. Forces and torques in muscles and joints. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 10. Rotational motion and angular momentum. Connection for AP courses. 10.1. Angular acceleration. 10.2. Kinematics of rotational motion. 10.3. Dynamics of rotational motion. Rotational inertia. 10.4. Rotational kinetic energy. Work and energy revisited. 10.5. Angular momentum and its conservation. 10.6. Collisions of extended bodies in two dimensions. 10.7. Gyroscopic effects. Vector aspects of angular momentum. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 11. Fluid statics. Connection for AP courses. 11.1. What is a fluid? 11.2. Density. 11.3. Pressure. 11.4. Variation of pressure with depth in a fluid. 11.5. Pascal's principle. 11.6. Gauge pressure, absolute pressure, and pressure measurement. 11.7. Archimedes principle. 11.8. Cohesion and adhesion in liquids. Surface tension and capillary action. 11.9. Pressures in the body. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 12. Fluid dynamics and its biological and medical applications. Connection for AP courses. 12.1. Flow rate and its relation to velocity. 12.2. Bernoulli's equation. 12.3. The most general applications of Bernoulli's equation. 12.4. Viscosity and laminar flow. Poiseuille's law. 12.5. The onset of turbulence. 12.6. Motion of an object in a viscous fluid. 12.7. Molecular transport phenomena. Diffusion, osmosis, and related processes. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 13. Temperature, kinetic theory, and the gas laws. Connection for AP courses. 13.1. Temperature. 13.2. Thermal expansion of solids and liquids. 13.3. The ideal gas law. 13.4. Kinetic theory. Atomic and molecular explanation of pressure and temperature. 13.5. Phase changes. 13.6. Humidity, evaporation, and boiling. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 14. Heat and heat transfer methods. Connection for AP courses. 14.1. Heat. 14.2. Temperature change and heat capacity. 14.3. Phase change and latent heat. 14.4. Heat transfer methods. 14.5. Conduction. 14.6. Convection. 14.7. Radiation. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 15. Thermodynamics. Connection for AP courses. 15.1. The first law of thermodynamics. 15.2. The first law of thermodynamics and some simple processes. 15.3. Introduction to the second law of thermodynamics. Heat engines and their efficiency. 15.4. Carnot's perfect heat engine. The second law of thermodynamics restated. 15.5. Applications of thermodynamics. Heat pumps and refrigerators. 15.6. Entropy and the second law of thermodynamics. Disorder and the unavailability of energy. 15.7. Statistical interpretation of entropy and the second law of thermodynamics, the underlying explanation. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 16. Oscillatory motion and waves. Connection for AP courses. 16.1. Hooke's law. Stress and strain revisited. 16.2. Period and frequency in oscillations. 16.3. Simple harmonic motion. A special periodic motion. 16.4. The simple pendulum. 16.5. Energy in the simple harmonic oscillator. 16.6. Uniform circular motion and simple harmonic motion. 16.7. Damped harmonic motion. 16.8. Forced oscillations and resonance. 16.9. Waves. 16.10. Superposition and interference. 16.11. Energy in waves. Intensity. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 17. Physics of hearing. Connection for AP courses. 17.1. Sound. 17.2. Speed of sound, frequency, and wavelength. 17.3. Sound intensity and sound level. 17.4. Doppler effect and sonic booms. 17.5. Sound interference and resonance. Standing waves in air columns. 17.6. Hearing. 17.7. Ultrasound. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 18. Electric charge and electric field. Connection for AP courses. 18.1. Static electricity and charge. Conservation of charge. 18.2. Conductors and insulators. 18.3. Conductors and electric fields in static equilibrium. 18.4. Coulomb's law. 18.5. Electric field. Concept of a field revisited. 18.6. Electric field lines. Multiple charges. 18.7. Electric forces in biology. 18.8. Applications of electrostatics. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 19. Electric potential and electric field. Connection for AP courses. 19.1. Electric potential energy. Potential difference. 19.2. Electric potential in a uniform electric field. 19.3. Electrical potential due to a point charge. 19.4. Equipotential lines. 19.5. Capacitors and dielectrics. 19.6. Capacitors in series and parallel. 19.7. Energy stored in capacitors. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 20. Electric current, resistance, and Ohm's law. Connection for AP courses. 20.1. Current. 20.2. Ohm's law. Resistance and simple circuits. 20.3. Resistance and resistivity. 20.4. Electric power and energy. 20.5. Alternating current versus direct current. 20.6. Electric hazards in the human body. 20.7. Nerve conduction electrocardiograms. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 21. Circuits and DC instruments. Connection for AP courses. 21.1. Resistors in series and parallel. 21.2. Electromotive force. Terminal voltage. 21.3. Kirchhoff's rules. 21.4. DC voltmeters and ammeters. 21.5. Null measurements. 21.6. DC circuits containing resistors and capacitors. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 22. Magnetism. Connection for AP courses. 22.1. Magnets. 22.2. Ferromagnets and electromagnets. 22.3. Magnetic fields and magnetic field lines. 22.4. Magnetic field strength. Force on a moving charge in a magnetic field. 22.5. Force on a moving charge in a magnetic field. Examples and applications. 22.6. The Hall effect. 22.7. Magnetic force on a current-carrying conductor. 22.8. Torque on a current loop. Motors and meters. 22.9. Magnetic fields produced by currents. Ampere's law. 22.10. Magnetic force between two parallel conductors. 22.11. More applications of magnetism. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 23. Electromagnetic induction, AC circuits, and electrical technologies. Connection for AP courses. 23.1. Induced EMF and magnetic flux. 23.2. Faraday's law of induction. Lenz's law. 23.3. Motional EMF. 23.4. Eddy currents and magnetic damping. 23.5. Electric generators. 23.6. Back EMF. 23.7. Transformers. 23.8. Electrical safety. Systems and devices. 23.9. Inductance. 23.10. RL circuits. 23.11. Reactance, inductive and capacitive. 23.12. RLC series AC circuits. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 24. Electromagnetic waves. Connection for AP courses. 24.1. Maxwell's equations. Electromagnetic waves predicted and observed. 24.2. Production of electromagnetic waves. 24.3. The electromagnetic spectrum. 24.4. Energy in electromagnetic waves. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 25. Geometric optics. Connection for AP courses. 25.1. The ray aspect of light. 25.2. The law of reflection. 25.3. The law of refraction. 25.4. Total internal reflection. 25.5. Dispersion. The rainbow in prisms. 25.6. Image formation by lenses. 25.7. Image formation by mirrors. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 26. Vision and optical instruments. Connection for AP courses. 26.1. Physics of the eye. 26.2. Vision correction. 26.3. Color and color vision. 26.4. Microscopes. 26.5. Telescopes. 26.6. Aberrations. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 27. Wave optics. Connection for AP courses. 27.1. The wave aspect of light. Interference. 27.2. Huygens's principle. Diffraction. 27.3. Young's double-slit experiment. 27.4. Multiple slit diffraction. 27.5. Single slit diffraction. 27.6. Limits of resolution. The Rayleigh criterion. 27.7. Thin film interference. 27.8. Polarization. 27.9. Extended topic. Microscopy enhanced by the wave characteristics of light. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 28. Special relativity. Connection for AP courses. 28.1. Einstein's postulates. 28.2. Simultaneity and time dilation. 28.3. Length contraction. 28.4. Relativistic addition of velocities. 28.5. Relativistic momentum. 28.6. Relativistic energy. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 29. Quantum physics. Connection for AP courses. 29.1. Quantization of energy. 29.2. The photoelectric effect. 29.3. Photon energies in the electromagnetic spectrum. 29.4. Photon momentum. 29.5. The particle wave duality. 29.6. The wave nature of matter. 29.7. Probability. The Heisenberg uncertainty principle. 29.8. The particle wave duality reviewed. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 30. Atomic physics. Connection for AP courses. 30.1. Discovery of the atom. 30.2. Discovery of the parts of the atom, electrons and nuclei. 30.3. Bohr's theory of the hydrogen atom. 30.4. X-rays. Atomic origins and applications. 30.5. Applications of atomic excitations and de-excitations. 30.6. The wave nature of matter causes quantization. 30.7. Patterns in spectra reveal more quantization. 30.8. Quantum numbers and rules. 30.9. The Pauli exclusion principle. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 31. Radioactivity and nuclear physics. Connection for AP courses. 31.1. Nuclear radioactivity. 31.2. Radiation detection and detectors. 31.3. Substructure of the nucleus. 31.4. Nuclear decay and conservation laws. 31.5. Half-life and activity. 31.6. Binding energy. 31.7. Tunneling. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 32. Medical applications of nuclear physics. Connection for AP courses. 32.1. Diagnostics and medical imaging. 32.2. Biological effects of ionizing radiation. 32.3. Therapeutic uses of ionizing radiation. 32.4. Food irradiation. 32.5. Fusion. 32.6. Fission. 32.7. Nuclear weapons. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 33. Particle physics. Connection for AP courses. 33.1. The Yukawa particle and the Heisenberg uncertainty principle revisited. 33.2. The four basic forces. 33.3. Accelerators create matter from energy. 33.4. Particles, patterns, and conservation laws. 33.5. Quarks. Is that all there is? 33.6. Guts. The unification of forces. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Test prep for AP courses. Chapter 34. Frontiers of physics. Connection for AP courses. 34.1. Cosmology and particle physics. 34.2. General relativity and quantum gravity. 34.3. Superstrings. 34.4. Dark matter and closure. 34.5. Complexity and chaos. 34.6. High temperature superconductors. 34.7. Some questions we know to ask. Glossary. Section summary. Conceptual questions. Problems and exercises. Appendix A. Atomic masses. Appendix B. Selected radioactive isotopes. Appendix C. Useful information. Appendix D. Glossary of key symbols and notation. Answer key. Index.